Guys, welcome to the video. We are closing out week 4 of marathon prep with a 22-mile run, and I just wanted to quickly run you guys through my nutrition for this run and then we'll get into it. So here's what we are working with for this 22-mile run. So as many of you guys probably know, I'm a huge BPN fan. I love Nick Bear and his company and everything that they're doing over there. So starting now, throughout the rest of the run, I'll be sipping on this concoction that has G1 Sport, electrolytes, and creatine just because I need to make sure I take it daily. But between the actual endurance supplements, there'll be 20 grams of carbs and 850 milligrams of electrolytes. Now, prior to the run, I'm gonna finish this banana and honey, these bananas and honey that I'm gonna eat, and then probably at about 5, 10, and 15 miles, I'll have one of these, and some dates. What are these? Some sort of fruit jelly slush. My wife and I went to a Japanese store yesterday in Brooklyn and found them, and I thought they'd be helpful. So this is the plan. All right, 22 miles done, 3 hours, 21 minutes. It's treadmill time. Oh, 1 second. And then watch, 22 miles, similar time. All right, so just finished up 22 miles on the treadmill. I never thought that I would be someone to enjoy running on the treadmill, but it's been great, I'm not gonna lie. It's there's definitely some aspects of it that are so much easier. One, there's no elevation, so definitely something that I'm going to have to take into consideration, as that's good for the short term, because it means I'm not suffering as much when I'm running, but it also means that I'm losing leg strength, or at least I'm not gaining the same leg strength that I would be if I was out on the road. So something that I'm going to be on the lookout for as I continue to track my progress and do these 22-mile workouts that I have coming up over the next few months. So we'll see how that works out. Overall, Overall, feeling great. This last run of the week closes out week 4. Overall, like I said, feeling good. I really think it's akin to newbie gains. If anyone out there is a strength training connoisseur, or you've just been to the gym and then stopped and then been back, you learn that there's some sort of like either muscle memory, or I don't know exactly if it's real, but it feels like the first few days or weeks when you get back into a fitness endeavor, things kind of start to snap back into place, as if you didn't really lose anything, even if you've been months away from the gym or months away from running. So it's kind of hard to see where my actual fitness level is. I feel like I'm still kind of warming up and just shaking off the dust from not doing consistently 70-mile weeks back to back to back. So we're going to see what happens. This first block is going to come to its end in a week or so. And then we'll have a deload, and then we'll be about a third of the way done with the prep. One of the things I did want to talk about to close out this video is this book that I'm reading. It's The Experiencing Machine by Andy Clark. And Andy Clark is a philosopher of cognitive science, and the book details a theory, a unifying theory of the mind, of the body, of human experience and perhaps animal experience. That's called predictive processing. And the idea is that experience is a result of sense data and us predicting how the world should be coming together. So one traditional theory of experience is that there's the world out there and there's things happening, and we interpret what's going on through the impressions coming from the world through our sense organs. And there's a whole bunch of information processing that goes on inside our mind, but by and large, we're passive recipients of information from what's going on in the world. But this theory has an alternative take, and it says that we are active constructors of our experience, where yes, there is a world out there, but we are also projecting out expected models or predictions about what's going to happen. So experience is not something that just manifests because of sense data imposing itself on us. We are actually creating experience to a degree, to the degree that we are predicting what's going to happen, as well as receiving the sense data. So what does that mean, and why do I think that's interesting? Well, for this video, I want to try to combine it or apply it to marathon training. So I think I like the theory because it's intuitive. It's intuitive from the perspective of the placebo or nocebo effect. It's intuitive from the perspective of mindset shifting and many things that people who are trying to strive to become an expert at, many ideas that people who strive to become an expert in any domain run into. There's a book called Mindset by Carol Dweck, and in that book she talks about a growth-centered mindset and a fixed mindset. And a growth-centered mindset is someone who focuses on learning and developing. So when they are trying to become a marathon runner, or if they're trying to learn an instrument or learn a new language, when they make mistakes, they don't beat themselves up over it because their goal was to learn. And when you make mistakes, that is learning. So it doesn't necessarily mean that they're happy about making mistakes, but their goal when they pursue an endeavor is learning and adaptation and development. And they're predicting and expecting to make mistakes because they're also hoping and desiring and expecting to learn. And that's contrasted with a fixed mindset, which is someone who believes that they can't change, that they can't learn anything, and how they're born is how they're always going to be. So when they make a mistake, it's not an opportunity to learn, it's a statement of their inadequacy and of their rigid inability to change. And Dweck, of course, argues that more people should have a growth-centered mindset, given that if the goal is to develop and to become better and seek out opportunities for adaptation in mistakes, then it would be better to have a growth-centered mindset. But the larger point that ties her book in with Andy Clark's book is this idea of how your expectations, your mindset, shifts your experience to a degree, not completely. And Andy Clark makes that point very clear, that he's not saying that your experience is nothing but what's in your mind and what's in your head, but there is some wiggle room. And that's exemplified in things like the placebo effect, where you can give people non-medical pills and tell them that they're medical interventions, and you can predict reliably that their body will change or their mind will that there will be an effect in the desired direction of the cure or their intervention, or the supposed cure or intervention. So there's definitely more to experience than just sense data imposing itself on us. There's definitely more to the world than being a victim, is what I would like how I would like to put it. We play a major role in defining our future and defining ourselves. And we're not all powerful, and there's limits. But look, when bad things happen to you, when you make a mistake, when your training isn't going as planned, or when you get into a fight with someone that you care about, there's not an obvious bottom limit to how much worse you can make things by
thinking yourself into a downward spiral and focusing on the anxiety and the depression and the guilt and the shame. So if there's no bottom limit, then maybe there's no upward limit. And, that's very optimistic. And according to Annie Clark's theory, from my understanding, it's something that's not outside of the realm of possibility. So when it comes to the trials and the challenges that you're going to encounter in your world, it's useful to know that how you think about it plays a major role in how you experience it. So I would encourage you to have a growth-centered mindset. I would encourage you to just keep that in mind when things aren't going your way. So I'm going to end the video there. Thank you guys for listening, and I'll see you in the next one.